Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today I'm talking about a subject that came up over this past weekend, and that is that Sony brought a select number of PS2 games to the PS4 for sale. Now, the prices on these range from $10 to $15. They're titles like the Mark of Cree, the Grand Theft Auto trilogy, Rogue Galaxy, Dark Cloud. So a number of good PS2 games on there. So the prices on these range from $10 to $15, and people are pissed off about it. Not just about the prices, but just about the whole situation. That it's not backwards compatibility. It's not backwards compatibility done right. So first of all, I just want to say that Sony never claimed that this was backwards compatibility. What happened was, I think it was last week, someone from Sony came out and said that we're working on PS2 emulation for the PS4. And people assumed that this was going to mean that, oh, it's backwards compatibility. That's the only thing it could possibly mean. I mean, let's not look at Sony's past history. That well, yeah, they did have backwards compatibility on the first models of the PS3, where you could play PS1 and PS2 games, even though some games did have compatibility issues. And then they took it out to reduce costs, the PS2 backwards compatibility, and then put PS2 games up for sale on the PlayStation 3 PSN store. And oh yeah, and then when the PS4 came out, oh, didn't have backwards compatibility with PlayStation 3. Yeah, they claimed it was because of the different architectures of the processors, because of the cell processor in the PlayStation 3, which may very well be the case. Who knows? But people just assumed they were going to be able to put their PS2 game in their PS4 and have it work, given Sony's track record with backwards compatibility. No, I don't understand why people thought that. Why would you think that? Well, so I just want to kind of get into why it doesn't make sense for Sony to do this. First of all, most PS2 games now are bought secondhand. So Sony sees no money from that. The developers of the games see no money of that. So why would they let you take a PS2 game such as Grand Theft Auto 3 that you already have and put it in your PlayStation 4 and have it work? There's no money in it for them. Why would they do that? And a lot of people are saying like, well, it's just for consumer, to make the consumers happy, make the gamers happy. Listen, when you're in the video game business, yeah, that is a big part of your business, to make fans happy. But you have to have a balance between making fans happy and making a profit. I mean, you are running a business, and let's face it, Sony is failing in pretty much every single thing they do, except their PlayStation brand. So yeah, it makes sense why they're putting these games up for sale. Not to mention that they're not just putting these games up like the PS2 classics. Their games are upscaled to 1080p. They have PlayStation 4 features like remote play and things like that. And they have my personal favorite, trophies. So, yes, it is understandable that the prices are $10 to $15 because work went in to adding those features to it. I mean, they're not just taking the PlayStation 2 game and putting it on PS4. They did add some stuff to it. Now, whether that is worth it to you is the question. That's for each person to decide. But people are saying things like, they're forcing us to buy the games again. They're not forcing you to do shit, okay? They're not forcing you to do anything at all. If you want to play the PS2 game that you have, put it in your damn PS2 and play it. It would be great if you could play all PlayStation games on your PlayStation 4. It would be so convenient. It would be awesome. But it is incredibly unlikely, and it just makes no sense to do. Another thing that people aren't considering is that, you know, your PlayStation 2 discs aren't going to last forever. And having these games, for sale digitally, and for each console Sony comes out with, and to have those games on there digitally, is preserving the games. As much as people don't like digital games, the games are being preserved. So, that's another thing. And, people that are new to gaming, that are younger generations now, will be able to play these games that, they haven't before. They'll be able to experience Grand Theft Auto 3. They'll be able to experience Rogue Galaxy. They'll be able to experience those games. So that's another thing that people aren't talking about. Another thing that I've heard some people bring up is that, Microsoft's doing it right. They're bringing 360 games, to the Xbox One, where you just have to put in, your Gears of War 2 disc, and it'll download it directly to your Xbox One, and you can play it. Why isn't Sony doing that with PS2 games? Here's why. Because, well, first of all, Microsoft, not a lot of work is going into bringing these games to Xbox One. Yes, they did create emulation software, and they, of course, had to make sure that the games worked in the emulation software. But from my understanding, basically what they're doing is they're taking a game, wrapping it in the emulation software, making sure it works on there, and putting it out. They're not doing any really changes. They're not making any changes to the game, not really adding any new features or anything like that, as opposed to what they're doing with the PS2 games when they're adding trophies, adding, the PlayStation 4 features, and upscaling it. Another difference is that, 360, people are still buying 360 games. People are still buying 360 consoles. So, there is financial incentive for companies to, to say, yeah, we're cool with having the backwards compatibility for our games. Because people may go out and buy those games new to play on their Xbox One. And I just heard that there's talk of that they're going to add these games to the marketplace so people can buy them on there. So there isn't financial incentive for Microsoft, for the developers and publishers of these games to do it, because they will get money. Now, not to mention, these games are already in HD, so as I said, it's very easy for them to do this. Now, with PlayStation 2, these are 2 generations behind. So, as I said, they do have to put in work to get these games on there. So that needs to be paid for. So that's why the prices are like that. But it's just a very different thing when you're comparing what's going on with the Xbox One and what's going on with the PlayStation 4. It makes no financial sense for Sony to just add basically free backwards compatibility. And it's a very different situation when you're comparing the two. So I just wanted to kind of give my opinion on that. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, like the video, share it, and subscribe. Till next time.